people who are in the waiting season what to do next. What am I doing in my life next? In the next verse we are going to be hearing is Mrs. Adedoyin verse. So we will leave over to you.
All right, thank you, David. Good evening, everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me.
We can
Yes,
hear
I can
you
hear
clearly.
you.
All right, thank
Clearly.
you.
Yeah.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, David. Let me know, would you be sharing my slide, please? Or do I? I'm not sure I can share from here. So if you would please share my slide. You have. All right, so I'm tasked with I have the task to talk about becoming before admission, and faith, clarity, and identity, even in the waiting season. And as I said, I'm not going to be speaking just to those that are waiting for admission, because I understand that we do not just have those people that are waiting for admission here. This conference is made up of a lot of people, majorly people that are on the quest for purpose, on the quest for becoming, on the quest for actually dying empty. One of my biggest desire is that at the end of my life, when when I meet my maker, I'm able to say, yes, dear Lord, I did everything you put in my heart. I did everything you put in my spirit. I wrote every book. I became everything you wanted me to become. And here I am, coming before you, empty-handed. I don't have anything I was supposed to do still in me. And that is one of my life visions. So I know that I have similar people. I have people with similar visions here. And I'm going to be talking about the subject of becoming. Okay, David, do you have my slide? Or should I just continue? You are muted in case you're talking. Hello. You're muted. Your microphone is muted. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so you can go to the first slide. Okay, yes. So what does the word becoming mean? Becoming is simply an ongoing process of growth, transformation, and development. If you note, it has that ing, which means that it's a process, an ongoing process. And it is important to know that becoming is a journey and not a destination. We do not get to a point in our life where we say, okay, yes, I have become. No. Becoming is what? It's a journey. And at every stage and time of our life, one of our greatest achievements should be that we have become a better and a transformed version of ourselves. Myself in July should not be the same self in June. And now that we're talking about waiting season, in our waiting season, what is the importance of becoming in our waiting season? For example, maybe we have people that are waiting to get into the higher institution. We have people that are waiting to get married, or you are waiting for a job. You are waiting for a manifestation. You are waiting for a promise. You are waiting to travel to Japan to leave Nigeria, or you are waiting to get anything. What happens in that process of waiting? It is important to know that in your process of waiting, it is very, very important to do what? To go after growth, to go after transformation, to go after becoming a better version of yourself every day. You can go to the next slide, please. And three important subtopics I've been asked to talk about is faith, clarity, and identity. What is faith? I believe maybe not all, maybe if not all, I believe most of us on this call are people of faith. And we should know that our faith refers to our belief, our conviction, and our trust in God. Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And our faith is our trust, our beliefs, our convictions, the things that we know that God has called us to be. And also, when we are hoping for something, when we are looking out for something, as like Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 has defined it, the substance of things was hoped for. In this case, is numerous. if I'm talking to SS3 students, secondary high school leavers, people that just left, or people that have left and are waiting for admission, in that process, what is the thing that you're hoping for? You're hoping to get admission into the university, or you're hoping to get a job, or anything at all you're hoping to do. We must understand that we have to trust in God in every phase of our lives. And in the waiting season, most essentially, like we're talking about tonight, we need to understand that our faith in God must be strong. What is clarity? Clarity, I have defined clarity as a deep and a growing sense of where we are at and where we are going. A deep and a growing sense of where we are at the moment and where we are going. For example, if you are a school leaver that is looking to enter into the university, clarity comes in when you realize that, okay, this stage of my life, what is it? You might not understand at once. That is why I defined it as a growing sense of where we are and where we are going. You have to always, especially when you're in a waiting season, when you're in a season where you're looking up to something, as much as you're looking up to that thing, you must understand what that place that you are at the moment, you must understand it. And it is only when you understand, when you have clarity about where you are, that you can actually make the most use of the blessings that you are looking up to God for. It must be very clear. And what is identity? I define identity as a deep and growing understanding of who we are. As Christians, our identity is rooted in who God says we are, because it is only the manufacturer that can give a full explanation of the use of the product. For example, the maker of Tesla, he is the only one that can give an end-to-end understanding, because even before the car was built, there was a structure on ground already. There was a plan on ground already. So he's the only one that can actually explain how that product is supposed to function. And as children of God, as people in a season of our life, in this context, waiting season, we must understand who we are. And we can never understand who we are if we do not go to ask the maker, our maker, who is God. And that's why we must always, Book of Joshua chapter 1 verse 6 says, this book of the law shall not depart out of my mouth, and I will meditate therein day and night. And it is only when I meditate therein day and night that I will have good success. So we must always understand that we have to have a deep sense and a growing understanding of who we are. We have to have clarity. We have to understand the seasons that we have and where we are going to. You cannot expect a miracle if you don't know. I mean, you cannot receive a miracle if you don't know what that miracle even is in the first place. You cannot say, okay, I want to go into the university, when you have not sat down to research and say, okay, this course that I want to study medicine, for example. What is it about? And yes, you might not have it all figured out. And that is why I defined it as a growing sense. And it has to be deep. You are not just looking, your heart is not pointing after something and you are having a surface level, a surface understanding of it. No. You have to have a deep but growing understanding of that which you are looking up to. As somebody, okay, now we have talked about purpose. Our first speaker has talked to us about purpose. You are in this season of your life where you're actually looking at going from just living, from just how do I there's a word I normally use. You are at this stage of your life where you want to go from just existing to living. You must sit down and have a clear and deep understanding of where you are at the moment. Okay, so what is my life about at the moment? And then you begin to understand, okay, now that I am beginning to understand what my life is at the moment, you now begin to ask questions and say, okay, that place that I want to be, that purpose that I want to achieve, that solution that I want to be to my world, I need to now start to gain an understanding of what that thing is. And it is only then that you can actually step into the manifestation and receive that which you want in your next season. I'll go to my next slide. How do we thrive in our waiting season? And the fact is that waiting seasons are not funny. Sometimes the world will be asking you, what are you doing? Why are you still here? What is the whole essence of your life? You finished school, you wrote JAMB, you did not pass. Why? The world will be asking. But I want you to know, what slide? Please go back. You've moved past my slide, my first point. Yeah. Romans chapter 8, verse 28. Yes, please. Romans chapter 8, verse 28 is the first thing I want you to hold on to in this my session. You need to understand that all things, all situations, circumstances work together for your good as long as you love the Lord and as long as you are his child. Waiting, what is in a waiting season? It might look as if I've been seeking for this thing, I've been seeking for this admission, I've been seeking for this next level, I've been seeking for this partner, I've been seeking for this fruit of the womb, I've been seeking to actually live, I've been seeking to exploit the purpose of the purpose of God in my life, I've been seeking to actually step into manifestation, I've been seeking to be more. I don't just want to live, I don't just want to exist, I want to live. You have to first of all understand that the circumstance that you are in at the moment, everything, all things works together for your good. Even if the waiting season might not look funny, even if your season at the moment might not look like, it might not look anything like what you want it to look, but you need to understand the fact that all things work together for your good as long as you are God's child. Next slide, please. You need to understand that he sees you, he knows, he understands, and he is aware. And all of those situations, they are what? They are working together for your good. Now, the next point I want you to know is that God knows that you are waiting. God knows that you are waiting. If you are waiting for that admission, you are waiting for that scholarship, you are waiting for that job, you are waiting for that opportunity, you are waiting for that. God is aware that you are waiting. I want this word to give you comfort in whatever trying time you have been and you feel like you are alone. You are not alone. God is aware that you are waiting. There's absolutely nothing that happens to a child of God that catches God unaware. No. God is fully aware that you're waiting. And even in that waiting, he is with you. Even in that waiting, he is with you. And that should give you a sort of confidence that even when you are going through the worst of situation, even when you are going through the worst of situation, even when you are going through the worst and you cannot, even you yourself, you don't understand, just know that God knows that you are waiting and he is there in that waiting season with you. Next slide, please. Number 3, whatever you make of a waiting season will determine what the answer to your request will be. It will not only determine what the answer will be, it will determine how fast your desires will come and how well you will even enjoy your desires when it comes. So if you are waiting, for example, becoming before admission, which was actually the topic, you are done with secondary school, you are waiting to go into the university, whatever you make of that time of waiting. Let me paint a scenario. Someone that is waiting to go into the university, who is not writing JAMB, is not taking post-UTME, he didn't write, he has not gotten his basic school living certificate. He's just there. How is he going to get into university? It's definitely not possible. So whatever you make of your waiting season will determine what the answer to your request will be. So you need to sit down and go on a journey of transformation, go on a journey of clarity, go on a journey of identifying why you are here. Where am I going to? Because whatever you make of a waiting season, it will determine the answer to your request. For a mother that is expecting a child, let's say the mother is even pregnant already. In that period of carrying the pregnancy, the mother is waiting to meet with the newborn after 9 months. There are a number of things the mother has to do. The mother has to take her prenatal vitamins. The mother has to go for regular scans. She has to go to the market, buy the things, arrange the bedroom and all of that. If the mother does not do all of those things, it might affect the child. If the mother does not take the vitamins, does not take the one they used to tell us, folic acid, as small as it is, it might affect the brain development of the child. Or if a mother is pregnant and is going on alcohol drinking spree, it might affect the development of the child. So whatever you make of a waiting season, the season between when you are actually waiting for the manifestation of anything, might be admission, might be a partner, might be anything at all. Whatever you make of that season will determine, number one, what the answer to that request will be, how fast your desires will come, and how well you will even enjoy the desires when it comes. If, for example, a student that is waiting to go into the university, he knows he wants to study medicine. He hasn't gotten the admission yet. He knows he would get the admission, but already he has friends in the university who is already asking. Even as he's preparing for JAM and all of that, he's even going an extra mile to say, okay, please, what are you doing? Which book can I just be randomly reading and just be preparing so that when I get there, chemistry 101, can you just send me your material? Let me just be looking at it. He's not in silver, but let me just be looking at it. That person that is going the extra mile of becoming transformed, acclimatizing himself with the environment. By the time he gets into the university, he's going to have it much, much, much more easier. So it's just telling us that whatever you make of a waiting season is going to determine the answer to your request and even how you are going to enjoy it. The next one, number 4. The fact that you are waiting does not mean your life is at a pause. Many people, the most common one is when ladies are waiting for a life partner. They just put their life at a pause. They are waiting for husband. Even the prayer, even God will be like, is there no other prayer request? Is there no other thing you can pray about? The fact that you are waiting does not mean your life is at a pause. No. The waiting that you are waiting is a part of the plan. Because the Bible says, before you were born, I knew you. I knew how you are going to be. So that is a part of a well-thought, well-designed life. So it does not mean that your life is at a pause. If you've waited 2 years, 3 years, and you're not getting that admission, it doesn't mean that your life is at a pause. Remember, I said it earlier that God understands. He knows that you're waiting, and He's with you. Nothing happens without His permission. So in that season of your waiting, you have to understand that it is part of your life. It is part of your journey, and you have to become, even in that season of waiting, there are certain books you need to start reading. There are certain courses you need to start applying. You need to start. And as I did, the answer that the last speaker gave to the last question is very, very apt. Even in the midst of what is purpose, when I'm talking about the purpose, achieving, whatever your hand, the Bible says, whatever your hand findeth to do it with all of your might. You want to become a doctor, but at the moment, what you are doing is that you are teaching. Or like you said, you want to become a content creator, but at the moment, your parents put you in a catering school. Do that catering as if it is the reason why you are called. Do that as if it's God. When God gave it to you like this, He handed over the man and said, yeah, catering. That's what you should do. So never ever take any waiting season of your life as a pause moment. Let it be known that the fact that you are waiting does not, it is part of the way, because God knew us. He foreknew us. He has a design for our life. He has the map of our life. Our life is like a jigsaw, or what do they call this? That has. Yes, so your life is a part of that plan. He is arranging it. So the person and the waiting season is not a stop. It's a part of you. And you have to understand that your life is well thought, is well planned. There's no mistake. There's no, everything is well thought, is well planned. And that pause is part of it. The last point is that the last slide, please. Don't waste your waiting season. Invest in the future you are waiting for. You want to get, I was watching somebody on Instagram. I was watching her highlight. She got married recently, and she was talking about the things she did even before she got married. She said even before she had a man safe, she was already buying small things down. She was already reading books. The pandemic that we find because of the prayer of social media and all of that, that we have people that are desperate to get answers, desperate to get into that next season, and they just waste their waiting season. Instead of you to, those seasons when you have not gotten married, instead of you to attend retreats, travel for programs, go for courses. I remember when I wasn't married, we could go for prayer meetings. We could, now I can do it, but I have a little man that is holding my leg, and it's not as easy as those times when we had not done it. So we need to understand that God is with us even in our seasons of waiting. You understand? It is well thought out. His plans are well thought, and we need to go on that. All right, sorry if my network went off. So we should understand that our waiting season, you cannot waste it. You have to invest in that waiting season, and I pray God is going to help us in Jesus' name. All right, thank you, David. How to you now, and I'll take questions as much as